Plaintiff Marilee Hyde and her daughter Valerie say Marilee thought she'd seen it all until the defendant got so high that he thought he could fly. Valerie claims the defendant tried to jump off of her roof into her swimming pool, but instead landed on the edge of the pool, spread eagle. Marilee is suing for the cost of a new pool. Defendant Jay Minchow says last summer when the incident occurred, he was unemployed and had a lot of time to party. Jay admits that he damaged Marilee's pool, but doesn't believe she needs a new pool.
Start with you.
Your Honor, I'm a product of the 1970s. I've seen a lot and done a lot, but never in my wildest dream did I think I'd see a young man think that he was so high he could fly off of a two-story home in this day and age. I think he thought he was gonna try to appear on the show Jackass, maybe. And that maybe should be where he should be appearing.
How long ago was this, in the 70s?
Oh, no, this was last year in July.
Oh.
July the 27th of last year.
You talking about the defendant?
Yes,
They still make mescaline and mushrooms?
I don't know. Maybe he's high on life. I think he was high on life that night. I'll tell you a little bit. I bought a swimming pool for my family, and it was a above-ground swimming pool, metal frame, and it was too large for my backyard, so we put it at my daughter's house, and I'll let her tell you a little bit about what happened on July the 27th that brought the end to that swimming pool.
State your name.
My name is Val Hyde, and the pool is at my house. One night we just had some friends over, and we were just having a good time, drinking, swimming, listening to music. And while I went inside to show two of my friends the house, because we hadn't lived there that long, we were inside, and we heard a bunch of ruckus outside. So we came outside, and as we're outside, you see everyone saying, "Don't do it, stop, what are you doing?" So I look up, and I mean, as you can see by the pictures, we have a pretty tall house. So that's the shot of the house. And he's about halfway up. And so the more people are like, "Don't do it, you're crazy," he takes a couple more steps back and just takes a run and a dive. And it's amazing, while he's in the air, what goes through my head, because it's a good, probably 20 feet. I mean, I honestly don't know how he flew that far. And so I'm thinking I'm going to have to mop him up off the ground, but instead he lands directly, this is a metal frame pool, one leg in, one leg out in the pool. So there's some dents here you can see that were caused from that. And amazingly, we were just able to pull him off, and I don't know how he walked away from that, or I don't know how he felt the next day or anything.
He was high, that's how.
But he must be one tough dude, because he walked away from it.
Sir, why don't you tell me about this?
See, I actually had a lot of practice last summer jumping off of things, because that's what I was going to say. I wasn't full-time employed. I did a lot of side work on my own, so I had a lot of time to party, basically. And with partying, comes stupid, crazy things that happen. And it kind of started at the beginning of the summer. Went with some friends to a music festival. It happened to go over a weekend. And we were down at this reservoir. And we were just hanging out at the reservoir, and there's a concrete wall. It's about 30 foot tall. And got the crazy idea when he was drinking. I said, I'm going to make that jump and see if I can see what will happen, jump in the water. Well, say it was a rush, jumping off things that summer. So just kind of did that every time. You'd be out at the lake partying, climb a tree, jump in the water. So I kind of felt like I could make the jump. And we were there that night, and they were inside. And while no one was looking, I climbed on the shed, climbed the side of the house.
What'd you get high for? A lot of people get high and they don't do all that. So.
Well, some people jump out of planes. I don't know if I'd go that far, but.
Do you hallucinate off the stuff that you use?
Well, adrenaline, it's fun.
So you would do it if you weren't high?
Well, no, I was, drinking, not high. I wouldn't even do any of that stuff if I was high.
So you do all this only off of beer?
Well, when you get drinking, do crazy things sometimes.
Not jump off buildings. I don't know anyone that drinks and jump off buildings. No. You know other people who drink and jump off buildings?
Well, some, but.
Do you? Ooh, your buddies?
Well, yeah, some of them, but at least they're not as crazy as me.
So you at least, you do know that you're crazy then. You said it.
Well, I say in retrospect, I don't think I do that stuff anymore. But like I said, I partied a lot last summer.
Yeah, I guess
so.
after you split your,
I'm just hoping I can still have kids after that.
there you go.
I actually didn't feel it that night till the next day.
Yeah, you were real drunk. All right. You got me wobbling my legs. I don't know if y'all can tell. I don't know if y'all can tell, but you got me. Woo, ah. Damage. Why shouldn't you have to pay, sir?
Well, that night, and after it happened, I remember enough to know that it was bent. Then we continued to swim in the pool that night, but I remember being able to bend the bracket that bent. Because I hadn't gone back and seen it after that night, but I remember that night, Your Honor. It was one metal bracket that was bent, and I just kind of put my knee into it so everybody could keep swimming, so it quit leaking water over the side. And I told them I would fix it, and kind of just never got any contact back after that until I received a letter from Marilee about wanting a whole new pool. And I had felt bad about doing it, so I wrote a letter back saying I would try to make the payments. And honestly, because I didn't think it was severely ruined, kind of like if a chain breaks on a bike, you don't buy a new bike kind of thing. I was thinking.
It's a good point, ma'am. Did you have to have a brand new pool?
Well, yeah, it didn't. It tore the. If you can see in that picture, it tore the side part that holds the thing up, and it holds 18,000 gallons of water. So you can't stitch that. And then we tried to we researched it on the internet to try to find pieces, and like I sent Jay a letter on August the 29th and told him that the parts that I could find online were $235, I believe, and he didn't like that either. So what I then sent him a letter and asked him if he could pay $79 a month over a 7-month period and try to pay for it that way. And I thought he was going to do that. And I said, just so long as you get it paid off by the time spring comes.
Didn't give you anything.
Didn't receive a dime.
Sir, why didn't you give her anything?
Well, I mean, honestly, Your Honor, I kind of just, because of the inseverity of it in my mind, I didn't.
So why did you agree to do it in the first place?
Well, I never said I'd try, because I never actually got a letter saying anything.
No. You agreed to do it. So why did you change your mind now?
Well, I just forgotten to start the payments, because that's actually a process when I was trying to get a job, and I had just gotten a job recently after that. I still hadn't had a job by the time.
So you see what your life is like. You can't even pay $395. That's what you want, right? Mm-hmm. Jumping off of buildings, all this nonsense, and now you don't have a job. Sob story. Jumping off buildings. Sir, you need to get your life together. If you're not using dope, you may as well go ahead. $395 for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
No hard feelings at all. Yeah. I just want a new pool for the grandkids, and he's welcome to come down and swim in it. As long as he stays off the road.
Yeah, not doing as much drinking and definitely not as much jumping anymore. So I'm glad everything's been resolved.
Yeah.